Hello, it's Weekend Handicapper. In this video, we are going to look at the Arkansas Derby Part 2, the sequel, Race 13, not to be confused with Race 11. That was the first running or version of the 2020 Arkansas Derby. The Arkansas Derby this year has been split up into two different races. So we are going to look at the second of those. But if you want to know about the first version, Race 11, you can find the link to the video right here. So, all right, before I get started though, if you like these kind of videos, if you want to learn how to bet horses and make money on horse races, then hit that subscribe button, Weekend Handicapper, and hit the like button if you like this video as you're watching it, and that notification bell so you can get all the tips, tools, and resources to help you win some money on thoroughbred horse races. All right, here we go. Race 13, the first time that the Derby, Arkansas Derby, has been split up. It's one of those prep races on the Derby Trail. As messed up as the Derby Trail had to be this year in 2020. This is what we're doing. Now, the first race, Race 11, I thought it was a pretty clear standout in that race, and there's wasn't much early pace in that race, so the early pace horses had an advantage. In race 13, I think is the exact opposite. I think you got all kinds of early pace, and that might favor a closer or a presser, horses that like to be off the front or not be a part of the front part of the field, so they can close in on that hot, fast pace. That's what I'm going to try to bet on. So here we go. Now, when it comes to trying to predict pace, you got, especially when there's a lot of early speed, you have two camps. You have the handicappers that think, well, there's so many fast horses that it's just going to be a wall of speed, and that's where the winner's going to come from. Sometimes that works, sometimes it does, just like everything else in horse racing. Now, there's another camp, which usually is where I'm at, where I kind of lean towards, is I usually bet on the horses that benefit from all that hot, fast pace, and I bet on horses that fit the profile coming off the pace or closers. I've been burned so many times playing like that, but I've also got some big prices playing like that too, and that's how I'm going to keep handicapping those types of races. So we got a total of, I'm thinking, 8 horses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 5 or 6 that are early speed horses, and you got a few that are right off the pace. So, it should be a hot pace. So I'm gonna be looking for some closers. All right, here we go. Let's go through the field. Number 1, Finnick the Fierce, 15-1. It's been working out all right. It's kind of a long shot. Should get a decent pace to run at. I don't know if the one hole will impact that ability to try to pass all those speed horses that might be tiring in front of the horse, but long shot with a chance, I think. Number 2, Saratoga. Here we go. You're going to hear me say this a lot. Early speed horse. It's a true long shot. So maybe if this horse was by itself, the lone speed at that price, maybe you have a shot of getting 1 1/8 and winning, but I'm going to toss it out. Number 3, Storm the Court. This horse coming off a layoff, another speed horse. I think the speed he'll suffer the fate of all that speed. At least that's what I'm gambling on. Number 4, King. Let's see, Guillermo. King Guillermo. Let's go with that. Or Guillermo, excuse me. King Guillermo. So I've been paying attention to a lot of Tampa Bay Downs lately. Sammy Camacho, the jockey's been running really good. This horse is interesting. He's proven speed figures. Ran a huge race at Tampa. Now, will this horse bounce after that huge performance? Or bounce means regress. Or will it keep improving or stay the same? If it stays the same or improved, this horse got a heck of a chance. That's why it's 3-1 morning line. But again, does pace make the race in this race? If you think pace makes the race, this horse might be right there up front, wearing each other out, which might diminish his chances. But I think he's got a good chance King Guillermo here, the number 4 horse, with some interesting connections. Number 5, Nadal. Can Bob Dafford win both the Arkansas Derbies? I wouldn't put it past. If anybody can, it's that guy. Seems like he wins everything, every big race. Can he win race 11 with Charlton? And can he win race 13 of the Arkansas Derby with number 5, Nadal? Nadal's one of my favorite tennis players. I don't know if it's named after the tennis player, but I would suspect so. I don't know too many Nadals. But it's another early speed horse. I'm going to try to beat Baffert in this particular race. And because, again, the pace. It's a good horse, it seems like. But I think it might be a victim of the pace. Number 6, Cold Runner, long shot for Steve Asmussen. It's got to step up by miles to have a chance here. So I'm going to keep that one out of my wagers. Number 7, Silver Prospector. Got another Steve Asmussen and horse right next to it with Ricardo Santana Jr. It's coming off a layoff. Probably won't get a piece of the action unless the pace falls apart, and then you can include this one in your vertical wagers, your exactas, tries, and such. Number 8, this is interesting. Fast Enough. Oh, I think it's fast enough, but is it good enough to withstand that pace duel? Ideally, this horse is going to be laying a little bit off those front runners, so I think it could. Now, this is interesting. Rafael Becerra. I'm not too familiar with this trainer. It looks like he's coming out of Southern California. I don't play too much Southern California racing, so that's probably why I'm not too familiar. Got good stats, but they're a small sample size, so take that with a grain of salt. But this is an intriguing horse, number 8, Fast Enough. Number 9, Tashan, I believe is how you say it. Tashan. Another long shot, another early speed horse. So, common theme, right? Number 10, here we go. Finally, we get a closer. Farmington Road, 12-1, Morning Line, Javier Castellano, Todd Pletcher. I think this race sets up perfectly for this horse. Yeah, it's a long shot, so I gotta bank on these horses running like what I see on paper. And I can't tell you all so many times, and you all that play horses enough know this too. They don't always run the pace scenario that we think. We think horse needs to sit back a little bit or there won't be any speed, and here we go. All the jockeys are thinking the same thing. If I can get out on the front end, I can steal this race. Well, if everybody has that same strategy, then there we go. So they don't always run to like the paper says. I wish they did, but they don't. But if this horse runs true to form, if the pace scenario is like I think it is, a lot of early speed, then it sets up perfectly for number 10, Farmington Road, for Todd Pletcher. I put full trust in Javier Castellano to be patient and make that move at the perfect time. It just has to time it right. I think it's worth a gamble. Number 10, Farmington Road at 12-1. And number 11, Wells Bayou, trainer Brad Cox, having a phenomenal past year or so, it seems like. He's another early speed horse, though. It's won 3 out of 5 races, came in second another time. Got great connections. His go-to rider, Florent Giroux. Brad Cox, like I said, is a great trainer. But will competing for that early lead hurt this horse too much from that outside post. But it definitely has a shot. So I think this is the better of the 2 Arkansas Derbies we have this year, the race 11th and race 13 at Oaklawn Park. This is by far the more preferred race to bet in than race 11. All right, I've said it plenty of times. If I'm right, then I should get paid pretty good. But will all this early speed help the closers, or will the winner come from all the early speed? I think that's what it comes down to. I think for me personally, I'm going to take a shot with number 10, Farmington Road. Hopefully all that speed will wear each other out, and this horse sets a perfect trip at a really good price. And it's not too many times I get to bet Todd Pletcher in double figures. So if it's around 10-1, even 8-1, it'll probably be all right. I never get to bet Todd Pletcher at those prices, it seems like, especially in a big Grade 1 race like this. And number 8, Fast Enough. I think that's an intriguing horse that at the right price is worth taking a shot with. Other than that, I'm not going to get too fancy, but the other horses that you might want to include are number 4, King Guillermo or Guillermo, or what's it called? My gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, King Guillermo. And I'll tell you all this, you hear me say this probably in some of these videos. Most horse players don't really care about names. We don't remember the names, we know numbers. You know, we don't get too attached to horses and where we know the names of them and stuff. So if I get criticized for mispronouncing names, that's fine. I just don't pay attention to the names too much. It's all about numbers and whether or not the odds are right, according to the way I see it. So apologize if I mispronounce any of these names. But number 4, I'm including. Number 11, Wells Bayou for sure. And number 1 is interesting on the inside, Finnick the Fierce. But definitely putting a nice win bet on number 10, Farmington Road. Hopefully the pace will collapse, and probably include that horse in the exotics with these other horses, the 8, the 4, the 11, and the 1. And I'm curious to see what the number 8 horse, Fast Enough, does. So there we go. Race 13, Arkansas Derby, Volume 2, the sequel. That's how I see it. We have 2 Arkansas Derbies, and I think we have 2 different pace scenarios. One, race 11, got a lot of, not much early speed, and so that should benefit the early speed horses. And then you got the total opposite in race 13, with a lot of early speed, which favors the closers. And hopefully the closer of choice is number 10, Farmington Road. And hopefully this should be a wonderful betting race. Great card at Oaklawn Park. Kudos to them for putting together some really good racing. Oaklawn Handicaps, really good. So hopefully you all will win a bunch of money and have fun wagering. We're very lucky we got at least a couple tracks we can play this right now until more tracks open up. But as I always say, happy handicapping, smart wagering, good luck to you, and hit that subscribe button.